I'm Erin from DaisiesandBruises.com, the art of living with depression. I have a craft to teach you how to do today to make 2014 a really great year. It's super simple, and I wanted to show you on camera so that you could follow along with me and understand that you don't have to be crafty or artistic or any of the above to make this super simple project. So, I've already made one, but then I'm going to make another right in front of you to show you how it's done. But this is a sample of the final project. Last night I painted this jar on the inside. So it looks nice and shiny on the outside and it looks like a pretty jar, but the texture is actually on the inside, and so it looks really nice sitting on your counter. And what we're going to do is put pieces of paper in the jar once the paint is dry. So I don't recommend painting the inside of a jar if you're going to be putting food in a jar, because we don't want to eat sparkles necessarily. So this project is great to have on your counter when it's done. Anytime something good happens to you in 2014, the smallest thing, maybe getting a letter in the mail or just having a good day or someone said something hilarious that you want to remember, you write it down on a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in your jar, and the next year on New Year's Eve, you can open up the jar and read all the good little things that happened that maybe you'd forget about otherwise. We tend to look back on things and only remember the embarrassing moments or things that really weren't so great from the year, but the truth is that there's something good and special in every day, and if we take the time to write those things down, then maybe we can appreciate the joy in our day-to-day lives. So, I have an empty jar here, a pickle jar, that I've washed out, and I bought, you can use any kind of paint, you can use any color, it doesn't have to be purple or sparkly, but that's what I bought. Martha Stewart Crafts paint from Michael's, it was $5. This is multi-surface glitter acrylic craft paint. So, makes me feel like it's magical a little bit. Glitter tends to do that. And so what you can do is take your jar, you pour paint right in the jar. When I was doing this last night, I poured paint in the jar and then I started painting up the sides like this with the paintbrush. And as you can see, it's pretty see-through. It's not very pretty looking, and it's hard to do sticking your hand inside the jar. Anyway, I just flicked paint on my brand new laptop. See, this is why you don't do it in front of a computer if you don't have to. Anyway, so last night I figured the paintbrush thing wasn't going to work very well, and so I decided to cheat. So I poured about half the bottle in the jar, put this aside, and then screwed the lid on tight on my jar. And then shake it up. Pour it down. Pretty fun craft. You get to see it all spreading and sparkling without getting your hands messy if you're a little bit more creative or coordinated than I am. So, as you can see, the paint is just dripping down the jar. And if you turn it as it's dripping, you can make sure it gets over the entire inner surface of your jar. Pretty slow on camera, but this is what you do. Do this until the inside is totally covered, until your jar looks like this. And you can hold it up to the light when you think it's finished. You can hold it up to the light and see if there's any paint pooling in the bottom. And if that's the case, you can take off the lid and just pour it out. Pour it into the garbage or in an empty yogurt container or whatever you want to do. If you want to save the paint and use it for something else, that works too. And so this is going to take longer than I anticipated for the video, but I swear that's all you do. Put paint in here, shake it up, roll it around, make sure everything's covered, and then leave it to dry. Make sure the lid stays off so that the air can get in there and dry the thing out before you're ready to use it. And so, yeah, overnight, mine seemed pretty dry, but I felt on the inside it was still a little bit sticky. So I used the hair dryer and just put it inside on a low setting and just blew around until till the paint didn't feel tacky anymore. And voila, I had a finished jar, and it looks nice and pretty on my counter. So first thing I'm going to write on a piece of paper for my jar is that I made a sparkly, glittery, awesome jar, and that's going to be my first good thing out of 2014. I think, the more we write down these good things that happen, the more weight they can hold in our lives, and something that's small we can hang on to and remember and look forward to opening next year on New Year's Eve. Thanks for following along, and visit DaisiesandBruises.com to hear more about the art of living with depression. Okay, thanks. Bye.